Let's check the news this hour with Nathan from the news studio.
Thank you very much, John, and good morning, everyone. After 15 years, one of the area's biggest festivals will be making some significant changes. The Ruckus, formerly known as Guthrie's River Ruckus, will be moving locations to now be held in Altoona at Adventureland Resort. Event organizer Grant Sheeter says a more centralized location that is easily accessible for fans will offer a wider selection of lodging options.
We had such a decline in the amount of people owning campers around the area and have a need for hotels. We've been on the hunt for a while and finally made the connection with the right person along the way. And so we're moving to some space just west of the administration building at Adventureland.
Along with the location change, Sheeter says the Country Music Festival will adjust dates to happen earlier in the summer of 2024 to accompany Adventureland's 50th anniversary.
We bumped it from the end of July to the first part of June just to kind of coincide with the park's traffic. Every ticket purchased will actually give access to the theme park and the water park that weekend as well.
Camping will still be an option over at the Adventureland campground, and Sheeter says the amenities offered are improvements to this year's two-day event.
It's a full hookup with water and electricity, so that's kind of an added bonus too. The camping that we do have this year will be a little bit better.
Sheeter says we will miss being in our hometown of Guthrie Center, but it will remain an important part of where we came from. Details on the lineup of performers will be released in the next 3 or so weeks, along with details on tickets and camping. For more information, you can visit GuthrieRiverRuckus.com, and a link to that page is included with this story at 1380kcim.com. Each year, the Iowa Department of Natural Resources holds a series of listening sessions throughout the state with Iowans, and Lakeview has been selected as one of the communities to host. On Wednesday, February 21st, DNR staff will be at the Shelter House in Speaker Park at 6:30 p.m. to provide updates on the recently completed hunting and trapping seasons, discuss potential rule changes, and address other topics of interest to the public. DNR Wildlife Bureau Chief Todd Bishop says, "We want people to come out to these meetings, listen to the season's reviews, ask questions, and hear directly from our staff. Part of the meeting will be devoted to discussing potential rule changes and collecting feedback as we work through the rules process." These meetings are open to the public, and any feedback received will be considered as regulation adjustments are developed. The complete list of planned town hall meetings is included with this story on our website, and there's close to 20 of them throughout the state if you can't make it to one immediately near you. Iowa Governor Kim Reynolds highlighted her plan to accelerate cuts to the state's income tax system during Tuesday's Condition of the State address at the Iowa Capitol. In 2018, Iowa had the sixth highest income tax rate in the nation at 8.98%. Republicans approved 2 tax cuts since then, but Reynolds says the state's coffers remain full despite predictions by opponents it would leave state government unable to meet spending commitments.
One left-leaning group called it a recipe for disaster. Well, that was wrong. 2 years later, it's clear we're well positioned to go further, faster. Even with the tax cuts we've already delivered, state revenue continues to grow, ending the year with a $1.83 billion surplus and more than $900 million in reserve funds.
Reynolds says such a surplus is a clear sign of room for further tax cuts.
Let me be absolutely clear. The surplus does not mean that we aren't spending enough. It means we're still taking too much of Iowa's hard-earned money.
Iowa's income tax rate is already slated to drop to a flat 3.9% starting in 2026. She proposes an accelerated schedule, which would retroactively change the current tax year's rate to 3.65%, followed by a drop to 3.5% in 2025.
This bill represents a total savings of almost $3.8 billion for taxpayers over the next 5 years. And it gets there by cutting taxes for every Iowan who pays them. The average family of 4 with an income of about $78,000 will see a tax savings of over 25%. A single mother of 2 making $47,000 would see an even greater savings of more than 42%. And there would be no waiting. The cuts would start to show up in paychecks this year.
Prior to Tuesday's condition of the state address, Reynolds had indicated her long-term goal was the elimination of income taxes entirely in Iowa, but she did not outline her plan to get there in Tuesday's speech. The 2024 Iowa Condition of the Judiciary from Chief Justice Susan Christensen was held on Wednesday morning, and then the 2024 Iowa Condition of the Guard is slated for today. And St. Anthony Regional Hospital has announced the addition of a new board-certified OBGYN, Dr. Marie Johnson, coming in February. Dr. Johnson, a Denmark native, specializes in comprehensive obstetrical and gynecological services, and her practice will cater to women of all ages. Johnson earned her medical degree from Truro University, Nevada in 2015 and completed her training at Arrowhead Regional Medical Center in Southern California in 2019, gaining extensive experience across various facets of OBGYN care. Her background also includes fertility care and assisting couples achieve their pregnancy goals. She says, "I genuinely look forward to working with the St. Anthony team and contributing positively to women's health in Carroll and its surrounding areas." Johnson will begin consultations in February, operating primarily from the St. Anthony Clinic in Carroll. For a detailed list of services, you can visit santanthonyhospital.org, and to schedule appointments, contact the St. Anthony Clinic at 712-792-2222. And that is going to be wrapping up your KCIM 7 o'clock news. I'm Nathan Cones reporting.
All right. Thanks, Nathan, for the news update. Once again, we're going to update the forecast here. Lots to talk about there. That's coming up in moments.